Welcome, guys, to my first YouTube long video. I have uploaded many very funny shorts, and I would recommend you watch them then too. So this video is a compilation of some of my shorts. I hope you guys will enjoy it. And if you guys are new to my channel, I would recommend you to subscribe me because that will help me a lot. So let's not waste your time, and let's roll to the video. Two hunters are lost in the woods. After wandering around for a couple hours, they decide to weigh their options. One says, "I heard if you shoot in the air, someone will hear and come to your rescue." So they fire a few times in the air and wait. Nothing happens, so they try again a couple more times. After a few hours of this, they're starting to get worried, and one says, "I hope we get help soon," to which the other responds, "I know right. I am almost out of arrows." Little Johnny is playing with his electric train set in the living room, and his mom is in the kitchen when she hears him say, "The train has arrived at the station. All you motherfuckers getting off, get off, and all you motherfuckers getting on, get on." She immediately scolds him for the language and puts him in timeout for 30 minutes. He comes back afterwards and resumes playing with the train. She smiles when she hears him say, "The train has arrived at the station. Those getting off the train, please do so. Those getting on the train, please do so." Then he says, "If you would like to make a complaint about the train being late, then go talk to the bitch in the kitchen." A boy went on a date with a girl. He was a little nervous, but he remembered some advice from his father, that 3 never-fail subjects for small talk are food, family, and philosophy. "So," he asks, "do you like noodles?" "Nah." "Oh, try again. Do you have any brothers?" "Nope." "Oh, well, if you did have any brothers, would they like noodles?" A Mormon and an Irishman are on a plane. A Mormon was seated next to an Irishman on a flight from London to the U.S. After the plane was airborne, drink orders were taken. The Irishman asked for a whiskey, which was promptly brought and placed before him. The flight attendant then asked the Mormon if he would like a drink. He replied in disgust, "I'd rather be savagely raped by a dozen whores than let liquor touch my lips." The Irishman then handed his drink back to the attendant and said, "Me too. I didn't know we had a choice." A Native American chief had 3 wives, each of whom was pregnant. The first gave birth to a boy. The chief was so elated that he built her a teepee made of deer hide. A few days later, the second gave birth, also to a boy. The chief was very happy. He built her a teepee made of antelope hide. The third wife gave birth a few days later, but the chief kept the details a secret. He built this one a 2-story teepee made out of a hippopotamus hide. The chief then challenged the tribe to guess what had occurred. Many tried, unsuccessfully. Finally, one young brave declared that the third wife had given birth to twin boys. "Correct," said the chief. "How did you figure it out?" The warrior answered, "It's elementary. The value of the squaw of the hippopotamus is equal to the sons of the squaws of the other 2 hides." One day, Einstein has to speak at an important science conference. On the way there, he tells his driver that looks a bit like him. "I'm sick of all these conferences. I always say the same things over and over." The driver agrees. "You're right. As your driver, I attended all of them, and even though I don't know anything about science, I could give the conference in your place." "That's a great idea," says Einstein. "Let's switch places then." So they switch clothes, and as soon as they arrive, the driver dressed as Einstein goes on stage and starts giving the usual speech, while the real Einstein, dressed as the car driver, attends it. But in the crowd, there is one scientist who wants to impress everyone and thinks of a very difficult question to ask Einstein, hoping he won't be able to respond. So this guy stands up and interrupts the conference by posing his very difficult question. The whole room goes silent, holding their breath, waiting for the response. The driver looks at him, dead in the eye, and says, "Sir, your question is so easy to answer that I'm going to let my driver reply to it for me." So the Pope is super early for his flight. He asks his driver on his way to the airport if he could drive around for a while because they have time to kill and he hasn't driven a car since becoming the Pope. Naturally, he's a bit rusty, so he's driving poorly when suddenly he sees police lights behind him. He pulls over, and when the officer comes up to the window, his eyes go wide. He says to the Pope, "Hold on for a minute," and goes back to his car to radio the chief. Cop: "Chief, we have a situation. I've pulled over an important figure." Chief: "How important? A governor or something?" Cop: "No, sir. He's bigger." Chief: "So what? A celebrity or something?" Cop: "More important, sir." Chief: "A major politician?" Cop: "No, sir. He's much more important." Chief: "Well, who is it?" Cop: "Well, actually, I'm not sure. But the Pope's his driver." A taxi passenger tapped the driver on the shoulder to ask him a question. The driver screamed, lost control of the car, nearly hit a bus, went up on the footpath, and stopped inches from a shop window. For a second, everything was quiet in the cab. Then the driver said, "Look, mate, don't ever do that again. You scared the living daylights out of me." The passenger apologized and said, "I didn't realize that a little tap would scare you so much." The driver replied, "Sorry, it's not really your fault. Today is my first day as a cab driver. I've been driving a funeral van for the last 25 years. A man is flying in a hot air balloon and realizes he is lost. He reduces height and spots a man below. He lowers the balloon farther and shouts, "Excuse me, can you tell me where I am?" The man below says, "Yes, you're in a hot air balloon, hovering 30 feet above this field." "You must be an engineer," says the balloonist. "I am," replies the man. "How did you know?" "Well," says the balloonist, "everything you have told me is technically correct, but it's no use to anyone." The man below says, "You must be in management." "I am," replies the balloonist. "But how did you know?" "Well," says the man, "you don't know where you are or where you're going, but you expect me to be able to help. You're in the same position you were before we met, but now it's my fault." It's the World Cup final, and a man makes his way to his seat right next to the pitch. He sits down, noticing that the seat next to him is empty. He leans over and asks his neighbor if someone will be sitting there. "No," says the neighbor, "the seat is empty." "This is incredible," said the man. "Who in their right mind would have a seat like this for the final and not use it?" The neighbor says, "Well, actually, the seat belongs to me. I was supposed to come with my wife, but she passed away. This is the first World Cup final we haven't been to together since we got married." "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible. But couldn't you find someone else, a friend, relative, or even a neighbor to take her seat?" The man shakes his head. "No," he says. "They're all at the funeral." 4 men are in the hospital waiting room because their wives are having babies. A nurse goes up to the first guy and says, "Congratulations, you're the father of twins." "That's odd," answers the man. "I work for the Minnesota Twins." A nurse says to the second guy, "Congratulations, you're the father of triplets." "That's weird," answers the second man. "I work for the 3M company." A nurse tells the third man, "Congratulations, you're the father of quadruplets." "That's strange," he answers. "I work for the Four Seasons Hotel." The last man is groaning and banging his head against the wall. "What's wrong?" the others ask. "I work for 7-Up." And that's it for today's video. Thank you if you watched it all. I will be back with another funny compilation. Till then, bye.